back to the SNL podcast, Playing the Field, Field Journal 007. Today I'm co-hosted with Primetime 000. What up?
Hey, what's going on? Happy to be here. A long-time listener, few-time caller.
So, what happened, I guess, this is a bonus question. You just lost to Faz. What went wrong in that game?
I actually feel like I played pretty well. Still getting used to the team. He's obviously getting used to his team. Missed an extra point. Kind of, you're playing catch up at that point, going for twos, and I just didn't have enough points after I missed that extra point to, I failed my 2-point conversion to tie it up, and then after that, it was playing the catch up.
Looks like you ran the ball decently well, not as great as you have in the past. George, no turnovers, but not a particularly flashy game. What was the biggest factor? Do you think it was just you kind of playing a little rusty? I mean, obviously, for him, 14 and 16, a buck 59, 2 tutties. It looks like he just kind of was a more efficient game manager.
Yeah, he's an efficient passer. We played last time season 1, and he did
Mm.
the same thing. He's just a really good passer, and like I said, I missed the extra point. Started playing catch up, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's week 1. Good
Mm.
thing championships aren't won in September. Otherwise, Dan would have won one last season.
All right, so bringing me to one of the topics I wanted to cover was about the Chiefs. The Chiefs are, in real life, the most loaded team out there. Even right now, you look, they got a 99 overall Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
He's got players out there, right? Chris Jones, 96, Tyrann Mathieu, 93. And after that, then it kind of falls off a little bit. He still has a decent run of 80s. If you go before Raider fan, though, Raiders only had him, a season maybe?
Yeah.
So obviously he didn't do too well. But then again, the biggest shaft to the Chiefs this cycle was ZZ and his ineptitude. Last cycle, you had Haas and Corey Keeps. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Why does? Why are the Chiefs not the desirable team for? I guess it's a 2-part question for players like you, the elite guys that just seem like they don't want the stigma of I only won because it's the Chiefs. Everybody's going to complain or say I only did it because the Chiefs. And
Yeah.
also I guess I'll let you answer that first. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I don't know if you remember when Sunday was in the league, and kind of his wins were literally just because of, a lot of people would say, and I would tend to agree, just because the team he had.
Mm-hmm.
If you had somebody like Dump, and he has never won a championship before, and then he goes to the Chiefs and wins with the Chiefs, I think he would get that stigma, and he may deserve it. Now, somebody like myself,
Mm-hmm.
somebody like Dan, who's won a championship, probably could get away with winning with the Chiefs and not get that moniker. But yeah, there definitely is one there, and whether that's deserved or not, because by season 5, most of these teams are super teams anyway.
So the second prong of that question would be, I guess that almost kind of sums it up, though, why people don't select it, why the Chiefs are struggling. Obviously, we got the best quarterback, you've got the fastest wide receiver.
Yeah.
But when you're playing these type of guys, if you're a lower level player like myself or Raider, ZZ, that's not enough to elevate people to a perennial playoff team. Then.
Uh, it should be. It should be. But I think the issue is people. I think people get worse when they play with better players. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. I've mentioned it with Meats. I've mentioned it with. Let's just use Meats as an example. He was the Ravens last cycle. Used
Sure.
Lamar Jackson, rolled out. Use Lamar to his strengths, which was rolling it out, running the ball with
Right.
him. And the issue with that is you become a self-consciously you become a one read passer than run, and when you need to throw the ball you couldn't. I mean, you probably watched some of my playoff games against Meats last cycle, and it was, let's stop the run and contain the run, and make him beat me with the pass, and I played him 3 or 4 times, and he couldn't beat me. And I think that makes you worse. And with the Chiefs, you have guys with Mahomes to get that bazooka lit up and
Right.
throw it 70 yards down the field, but when you play elite players, you go to that and it doesn't work. But they are such a talented team. If you have somebody who's disciplined with Mahomes, that could be scary.
Would you take the Chiefs next cycle, or would you honestly consider them, or are you just dead set that you can't live without playing with your favorite
Um,
team?
I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. It's one of those things where we'll see how Carson Wentz looks. If he's trash, we'll see. It would be. I would love to have them for just a season or 2 just to see what they're like, but it's a cycle long thing, and that would be the struggle, but it's very enticing to have Patrick Mahomes and
Yeah,
and the boys for
and
sure.
Tyreek.
Oh
So
god.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if you, to me, it seems what's holding you back in these playoff games and these big games is a average quarterback. You know, you don't have Andrew Luck. You don't have the quarterbacks. Or you don't have Andrew Luck anymore. Not
Yeah.
mention of that, but we'll move on. There was a big
I
off
do wanna say because you're gonna get roasted for that comment now, but I wanna say that
for
Frank
what
George is
comment?
uh, now that George is an X factor now, but my first 4 playoff exits, he really wasn't a great quarterback, and I can agree with that because I did have Jacob Eason, I had Frank George as a rookie quarterback. I just wanted to
Okay,
clarify 'cause
he's X Factor, but he's 85 overall.
yeah, he just hit X factor too, so I just wanted to clear
He's got
muddy little
93 throw
screenshot.
power, 88 short, 91 medium, 87 deep. His speed is 73. What I'm trying to say is he's not Andrew Luck. Is he a terrible
Yeah,
quarterback? By no means. No, he's not terrible. And like I said, now that he's X Factor, people are going to say that he's great. But just looking at his stats,
yeah.
not he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's nothing transcendent like that. Is all I was going to say or trying to allude to.
Yeah, I just wanna clarify because somebody will point this out like I had him as an X factor for the past 4 seasons.
Okay. So with that caveat, I want to talk about the off season. What was the biggest off season surprise?
Oh, Dan's trade actually. Dan traded he made the Super Bowl the last 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
He trades a superstar quarterback, an 84 overall right guard to the Bears for pick number 3. Misses the draft, sets his draft board, but misses the draft, and he gets a right end to replace Von Miller. So he traded a franchise quarterback for a defensive end that was normal development. And it's not like a receiver or a running back where you can dev boost them or spam them. You can't really spam a defensive end. So that's trouble in paradise there in Denver for sure.
Yeah, he doesn't have a. Who's his quarterback right now? That is it, Jacoby
No, he
or
drafted
Charles
he actually
McDowell?
yeah, McDowell. He actually has some good traits. I think Dan should be able to build him back up, but that's going to take at least a season, maybe 2. Should be at least a season before that guy is not missing dumb passes. So Dan might have gave away a
Yeah,
season
but
and a half.
Big Dan has probably got the best wide receiver trio in the game. 97 X Factor Jerry Judy, 95 X Factor Cortland Sutton, and 91 superstar KJ Hamler, and also
Yeah.
Travis Kelsey. So
Yeah, everywhere he looks, he's got superstars. But I guess at the end of the day, if you, I don't know, if you can't hit him, it doesn't. We'll see how this rookie quarterback does. He adds an element of mobility that Dan hasn't had before.
okay, what was your biggest offseason acquisition? Was it Stephon Gilmore or what was?
Yeah, yeah, Gilmore, and then I would say 2 is not actually J.J. Watt. He's already hurt for me, by the way. Um, I would say it's trading Knoll. I got Knoll's first round
Mm-hmm.
draft pick for next season, and he picked in the top 5 this
So you're
season, and I
saying
think
Noel sucks and you're gonna have a top 5 pick?
I'm not saying that
You're
because I'll end
alluding
up
to that.
jinxing myself, but I'm alluding to it.
Okay, fair enough. With all there was a lot of signings, right? So I had guys that, and I don't like guys that are just kind of outlandish or proud that they straight up are just going on there just to bid things up. Like they don't really have
Yeah,
the
the intention.
intention of actually signing the
I hate
player.
that.
You know what I
I
mean?
hate that.
So I almost feel like we should put the rule in where, and I don't remember who suggested it before. It may have been QB or whatever, where you get one bid, right? You send in your top bid to the commissioner. The commissioner, everyone will send the bids in for the players or whatever, and then you say, hey, this is who the top bidder is. This is who's getting it because this is who submitted the highest contract that they put the bid on, and then we advance. Instead of waiting for all this last minute sniping, people can't accuse you of sniping. You got guys that are intentionally just running stuff up just because they can. They don't even want the
Yeah,
player. I mean, I should have probably just let Thomas go,
yeah.
but I mean, regardless, there's a lot of beyond that. There's a lot of big spending that happened this offseason and any offseason. Do you go ahead and answer the? What do you think about a possible change in free agency bidding?
Yeah, I think that there's obviously keeping track and having people DM and stuff would be pretty tough to do and keep accurate and people would say their DMs didn't go through. You know how that would go with hundreds of players. I do think that the integrity thing of guys intentionally bidding guys. I've actually put bids on guys where they're their own free agent, and it's a green bar,
Hmm.
but guys name drop Mike FML, name drop Mad Bomber, name drop. I could name 5 others who will just bid on them just to quote unquote keep me honest. And it's like, okay, like come on, like you're just a douchebag.
Well,
Like
what do you
what are you
think
doing?
about? So advance is 10 o'clock. That's when the
Yeah,
bidding closes. Is 10 o'clock. I know once again this is gonna be difficult because then you'd
yeah.
have to see who's putting bids. I guess there's no good way of doing it just
Mm-mm.
because no one is gonna have good integrity without uh, putting a free agent admin team together. Um, this is who, or I don't even.
If
Like you said, it'd be
EA if
kind of a headache
EA
to do
just
it.
EA could just make it to where you don't see who's bid on the players, but at the end of the day, or they could, if we could set a random advance time within a 45-minute window, that'd be nice too. Um, but I just players leak. I mean, you could play it both ways. Like players leak contracts, agents
Hmm.
leak these deals. I don't know. I don't know what the best way to do it is. It's an important aspect of the game that we probably don't have quite right, but I don't know who else does either.
I'm not saying anyone that has it right. I just think that maybe it's something that needs a review, just
Tweaked,
because
yeah.
it's not improving. It's kind of like this, not necessarily. And I'm not calling it sniping, but just
I
the
I don't mind the
antics or
sniping thing.
games that people are playing just to bid the stuff up for no
Yeah,
reason outside of the say to do it. I like. I don't know. There's got to be a way you can implement it where people send bids and that's it. Like they're sending one bid. It's not like they can keep this is your final bid. This is the player you want. Blah 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 blah. You can send it to me, Field, meets what, or me and you if we split it between the two, or whoever you want to make a third and fourth to have commissioner powers in the game. Uh, this is who we send it to. They get one. It's not like you can keep sending other. Like you said, one bid. This is your final contract to Wu and J.J. Watt. But to me, that's like the most foolproof. It's the most work, the most headache. But luckily, there's how many 7 or 8 off seasons. I guess it just depends on how bad you want to eradicate the problem. To me, that's about the only
yeah,
way you could do it the way that Madden is right now.
yeah. It would definitely be switching one headache to the other because watching that Daddy Leagues list go when Group Me sinks is a freaking monster list. But I agree that there's yeah, it would be nice to have some sort of improvement, and I wish Madden would patch something into the
Or
game.
even if you did it for guys 75 overall or above or 80 overall and above,
Yeah,
whatever you want to make the threshold. Like if you say it's 80 overall and above, this is who we're going to start submitting bids on. You'll send it to Prime and Field, and they'll put you. It's only one bid.
yeah.
But I mean, the bitch about that then is if it's somebody you want to bid on,
Right, right,
they're gonna say that you didn't renounce your bid or whatever. So
right.
it's not a foolproof no matter what you do. But before I get off the salary cap issue, I was talking about spending and all that, which actually alluded to what this topic was supposed to be about.
Mhm.
Based on everyone's spending, not just this Madden in general, but Madden overall, and we see it time and time again. Do you see a bunch of guys getting into salary cap issues now, or
Yeah,
potentially?
I think we go 7 to 8 seasons. By season 6 and 7, you're going to see some major dudes hit the free agency. Obviously, last cycle I fat fingered and turned off salary cap,
Hmm.
and I think that saved a lot of people because cap penalties weren't a thing. But obviously, this cycle I don't anticipate that happening. So I think we're going to see some major dudes at free agency season 6 or 7. I mean, not everybody's a good general manager in the NFL or obviously the SML. We see dumb moves all the
Right.
time, so it's just a matter of time. I mean, NFL teams get themselves in cap purgatory or whatever you want to call it. So it'll be fun for sure for the guys who have cap space.
So this is the last topic, and we can make it as long or short as we want. Right now, the people at home are watching the sinmaddenleague.com/champions page, and we're looking at Madden 21 champions. QB Stud, no longer with us. Dan, Dookie, no longer with us. And RD.
Mhm.
So first, let's
Yeah.
talk about RD winning the championship. Do you think that he has a chance of repeating, or what are your thoughts on RD and his what he did last season and his future looking forward?
Yeah, you have a lot of RD fans coming out of the woodwork. I didn't hear him too much throughout this cycle, and then he wins, and all of a sudden these guys are saying that they've been RD supporters their whole lives, and they thought that RD was Mike's quoted as saying RD's the most accomplished Madden player he's been around, and I've never heard such a thing, but yeah, I mean, it's a good win. Do I think he's going to win multiple? Probably not. I mean, he's a runner, and he had the best passing game of his life against Dan, and Dan choked kind of. But he's a good player for sure. He might get to the NFC again. I don't see like a multi-time champion. He kind of boring player.
So who was out of the four that have won it so far? Obviously, Dan's still here. Dan's been a perennial playoff, and he made it to the Super Bowl contender. And QB, who seemed like he won a couple last cycle, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah,
Let's go through. Look, he won two last cycle, won one this cycle, so that's three, which is pretty good. And from what I heard, he was kind of steamrolling until he quit, and was a really good team builder. He's really knowledgeable. Between him and
yeah.
Dan, who was a more dominant player, or who do you
Oh,
think would be
QB.
a more legit? Do you think QB over Dan?
Hands down.
Yeah.
So basically, to start this cycle, Dan went 2-0 against QB in his 16-0 season. Then they played in the playoffs,
Hmm.
and I think QB beat him by 20 points. It just wasn't even close. Then they played again to start the next season. QB steamrolled him again, and then QB left the league. QB was in another stratosphere compared to Dan, just through and through. QB was a better player, a better team builder. I mean, it's QB. Honestly, I know they joke about like the next big thing, but if he
Hmm.
stuck with it, I mean, he was that good. I mean, he knew the game inside and out, and he was hungry. But I think that same hunger sometimes got him in trouble, and I think he burned himself out because of it.
Do you think that there's a chance? I mean, is there ever rumblings? Does QB ever, talk about coming back to you, or do you think QB's
Uh,
done
I
with the
haven't
SML
talked to him.
West?
I haven't talked to him since he quit
Hmm.
or resigned. He he's an interesting guy. He has a lot going on personally, and I think that's I think he'll come back at some point, probably Madden 22. And I think he's definitely a good asset for the league, but a great player. But yeah, it was a big shock when he left for sure. But him and Dan, there was no question in my mind that Dan probably doesn't have a Simbardi right now, and obviously I wouldn't either. But there's no way Dan has a Simbardi right now if QB's still in that division.
Let's talk about the last champion banner that's there. Dallas, the Savage, aka Dookie.
Yeah,
Dookie's back in Primer, or is in Primer.
yeah.
Um, what do you see Dookie doing in his future? Is he gonna run the shit in Primer? Is he? You just waiting to see how if he matures a little bit before you bring him back to SML, or do you think that that it's a wait and see approach? I guess.
Yeah, Dookie's a good guy, man. Dookie's a good guy, and he's a very talented player. Obviously, won a championship. He's I think he's going to run things in primer for a little bit. I think, and we told him, hey, right now, primer's open. If you want to have that spot, you can. He took it, and we're going to see how that works out. But if he ever makes it back to the SML, that's another guy who's right up there. He knows the game well. He does it. He doesn't get involved in terms of he doesn't get offended easily.
Hmm.
He's a thick skinned guy, and I think it's all kind of a joke to him almost, and that's what makes it dangerous.
So last but not least, we always got to talk about you since you're on the show. But
Yeah,
is this the season that you get the monkey off your back this cycle, or I mean,
yeah.
do you feel like this is the team that's going to do it, or are you still a ways out because the quarterback situation not quite yet developed, missing some of them throws, not as mobile as Andy? Yeah,
I
I don't know what your wide receiver core looks like outside of DK.
I got DK in Paris. I'm pretty good there at receiver. I think that this is the best team I've had with from this off season going in. Obviously I gained the two players,
Hmm.
Watt and Gilmore, but my quarterback progressed to X Factor, so we gained like two or three abilities, which actually showed in that Faz game to me anyway. That they went pretty well. Yeah, I think any season now. So this season, I'm feeling confident. Obviously, I feel confident against Dan. I feel confident against Bomber. Um, I think it's just a matter of time. I mean, these playoff games. I think people still get caught up in and I said it when this cycle started. Like
Mm,
Jacob Eason was my starting quarterback.
right.
I'm not going to win like right off the bat two or three in a row with Jacob Eason. It's going to take some time for me to build this team. It's not like I have Andrew Luck out of the box. It's going to take some time. People kind of have short-term memory. All these playoff games I've lost have all been literally within one score, last second, I threw a pick to lose this past game. I lost within the final 2 seconds of the Patriots game. The game before that, I lost in a game-winning field goal to the Bomber. Game before that, I lost in a game-winning field goal to Bomber. I mean, these are all just, I mean, close games, just a play or two away here. I'm not getting outclassed, nothing like that. I'm totally, I feel that I'm still playing good football. It's just a matter of time, really.
What? I guess I'd leave it at that. But your schedule, you got Mike FML next,
Yeah,
Hova, Dan
yeah,
week 4, which would be,
that'd be a good game.
everyone's wanting to look at that game. Coop, Bomber,
Yeah,
October, Figs, which you're gonna say is a circle win. Paulie, who is pretty
he's
good.
tough.
Matt, the Jets, Latin,
Yeah,
October, NYT, Noel, Bomber, and then Coop. Would you say it's a favorable schedule this season?
yeah, I feel pretty good. NFC North outside of Faz, who I just dropped 1-2, is pretty light. I think that Dan will be a good measuring stick. Bomber's obviously a tough out. But other than that, I mean, AFC East, Paulie's a tough player, Matt's a tough player, but nothing that it's nothing that I'm shaking my boots about. I feel that I'll still be a number 1 or 2 seed in the AFC, especially with the opportunity to play Dan so early in the season. Um, he's going to be learning with that quarterback, so we'll see how that works out for him. I'm kind of curious of how that's going to work for him.
You used to allude to it or say it. You didn't allude to it. You said it often. When QB was in the league, you always said that he studied. You watch game
Yeah.
film, you do this. Who studies or watches the most game film, you think, out of anybody that's active in the SNL right now?
I would say it's Bomber number 1, Dan number 2, probably Paulie number 3, and Paulie not so much anymore. I think that it's Bomber by far, and I think that everybody does it a little bit differently. Like me, I don't study, I
I
don't
don't
watch
study.
tape, and I'll watch games for fun. But I alluded to this, I think, in our last chat. Like it would be a job to me if I'm
Right.
sitting there taking notes or whatever. Creating spreadsheets
Mm-hmm.
on games. And it does add an element, and it's an advantage to somebody who does. Am I going to knock somebody for that? No. But at the same time, if you do that, you better be winning some Martys all the freaking time because that's a bad look to be putting in
Right.
all that work like you're Peyton Manning and then to not have anything to show for it, which is what Bomber has right now, and Dan's got one Lombardi, so he does have something to show for it. But I couldn't imagine putting in all that work and still having nothing to show for it. That would be a bad deal.
Yeah, I don't. I don't have the time. I don't think I would. It's a video game. At the end of
Yeah,
the day,
it's
like, do I like to win? Do I want to win more than anything? Yeah, but it's a video game, man. Like, I'm not investing my free time watching film, so I can, like, if I'm not good enough to beat you, like, I don't want to know your tendencies, what plays you're calling. Like, if we did it for money, sure,
yeah,
then I would take it a little bit more seriously. But I don't want to know when you call single back ace. 80% of the time you're calling this play or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't
yeah.
appeal to me at all.
Yeah, it's an added for me. It's an added something I haven't faced yet. I don't think, and if I have, it's nobody's beaten me with that strategy before. Bombers obviously, I think he's 7-4 against me, something like that. Um, at the end of the day, he's still 7-4 against me, and the games are all very close games for the most part. So it's fun. It's fun. I enjoy. I embrace the competition. I hope he keeps doing it, and I hope Dan keeps doing it because it'll make it that much sweeter when the Colts do come out triumphant.
All right, well, we're nearing the 25 or at 24-10 right now. Do you got any closing statements?
Oh no, man! I'm excited for season 38. Once again, everybody I think had a good off season. Fired up, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but maybe we'll have a Pro Bowl in the Super Bowl.
Nope, I'm going to be 6-10 this season. Looked at my schedule earlier, so that's the best that we can do. All right, guys, we're going to get off here. As you can see on the screen right now, we're looking at Zazzle.com/store/SimMaddenLeague. If you want, we got face mask on there for the COVID. We got a bottle opener. These are all pre-made products. Look at that mug. I have the mug. The mug does work nice. It keeps your drinks if it's chocolate milk, an alcoholic beverage, whatever you want. It's nice and chill. T-shirts with the logo, the camo logo for Bomber and our vets out there. The little bottle opener.
Yes.
But check it out. I mean, get yourself something nice. Get you some swag. Anyway, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Check us out, SimMadLeague.com, daddyleagues.com/SML. I'm going to get off here. Good luck the rest of the season. Prime, good luck to the rest of the league. Congrats on a great offseason by everybody. And to the NFC South, watch out for Big Dick Mikey Thomas.
Yes.
Have a good night.